Hello, my name is Owen Galvin, and here's my proposal for the final project for CSCI E-88. Here's the idea is to take a CSV of financial transactions, put it into Kafka, and then use Vertica's Kafka Connect library to put it into Vertica, where Vertica is a columnar stored database kind of designed for heavy analytical workloads. And then once it's in Vertica, I'm going to do some machine learning kind of as a side project, and then visualize the results in a Jupyter notebook using Matplotlib and Bokeh, depending on whichever I can get to work correctly. Okay, so to begin with, the data. It comes from Kaggle, one of the more popular data sets. It's something like 280,000 rows of credit card transactions with 30 plus columns. I've saved that to my local drive, and I'm going to first go into my Vertica instance, and we'll see. I've already loaded in the vast majority of the rows for the project, but I can do some more batches, and right now I run a query and I see there's just 2 rows that are greater than this time value. And now I will show, this is the scheduler in Vertica. This is what it is actually, this is the scheduler in Vertica, which is monitoring Kafka for a certain topic, and it will then put it into the table that I displayed in Vertica. And next I will pop over to the script that I'm using. This is what's going to load the CSV and then JSONify the CSV records and send them in batches over into Kafka. And this is the call to that script. It's going to load 10 rows, send them in batches of 2, and in that script was a pause of 3 seconds in between each, just so you can see things actually happening, and I have debug set to true so that the rows will output. I'll go ahead and run that. See, it's loading the CSV. I will run that query in Vertica a few times, and in a moment, sent its first batch of 2 rows, and we see 2 rows being added, another 2, and again, run the query in Vertica, and we will continue to see rows added over time until all 10 rows are sent off to Kafka. Okay. Now I'll briefly run through the setup of the Kafka connector. It's not very interesting to look at. It's mostly a bunch of script commands with configuration values. There's, I don't know, 7 or 8 of them. As I say, I could run them in the terminal. I don't want to do that since I've already set everything up, but there wouldn't be any output to look at. And then the final thing was the launching of the starting scheduler, which I had shown in that other terminal. Okay, now we'll pop over to the machine learning. It's in the document here. Just really, Vertica itself has a bunch of commands that can be used. I create a couple of logistic regression models to predict whether transactions are fraudulent or not. And then the final piece is going to be the Jupyter notebook. We can see this is it. It's going to connect to the database populated by Kafka and display a bunch of items, both for exploratory analysis and then also to measure what's going on with the models, to measure their accuracy. And we can see the first one is what loads the data into a pandas data frame. And that one takes a few moments to run, and then it's going to run this histogram of the unbalanced data. We'll see that one takes a while to run, while this one, which is much more complicated and fancy, actually runs much more quickly because all the business logic is in Vertica. So there the data's been loaded. That first histogram is being generated, and it will take, I don't know, 10 seconds or so, while we see wall time of 12 seconds, while the much fancier one only takes less than a second. And this is a series of visualizations. And that is it for my project. Thank you.